Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show, My So-Called Fabulous. I'm Tiffany C. Blackman, and welcome. Hey, are you listening, everyone? I'm seeing and hearing that you're listening to me, so I'm so excited. So I'm Tiffany. They call me Tiffy, too. And I'm fabulous, but sometimes I'm just not so fabulous, and we're going to talk about that many times. But I am a chef, cookbook author, wife, mom, sister, daughter, you name it. I love interiors. I love fashion and food. And guess what? I am a little vain and I love beauty. Hence, everyone meet my fabulous friend, Heather Finks. Welcome to my show,
everybody.
Heather. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so Heather Finks, I meant to tell you this earlier because when I'm talking about in Fort Worth, when I'm talking about having things done,
Yes.
people, I will say, Heather, they're like Heather Injector. They know who you are. You are an icon in Fort Worth for sure. So I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you.
So Heather, I've known her for 5-6 years since she was pregnant with her little babies that are just turned 5.
They just turned 5, yes.
Oh my
Crazy.
goodness. Olivia and Jackson.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe where time goes?
No. I don't know where this day went.
I know. They're so sweet, beautiful. I saw Heather about 6 months ago. Heather was she's done my brows, and I love my brows. Everyone loves my brows.
Good.
So you did the microblading on am I saying this correctly?
No, microblading, yes. That is,
Okay.
That is what it is.
So she did this, but let me give you a little background. We're going to back up. So Heather is at injector_Heather.
Yes.
On Instagram. She is a beauty guru, but let me just say, she's more than that. She's a nurse practitioner. So where did you go to school?
I did my entire college career at UT Arlington. I call it UT Almost.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
We struggled to get
Wow.
a football team. But yes, so I did my nursing there. I have an undergrad in business and then took my master's to get my nurse practitioner there as well.
So did you practice? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. My sister is a nurse practitioner, and she kind of went the route of now she's in administration, and she's not, because she's not practicing as much as she likes. She's babysitting basically.
Right.
So she went to Baylor. I won't talk about that because I'm a horned frog. But anyway, so did you, when you graduated, did you know you were heading in the beauty field, or
Not at all?
What did you do?
Not at all. I was like a lost puppy. I had no idea what I wanted to do in school, which is why it took me so long to graduate the first time. But I finished my undergrad in nursing and went straight into the ER. Loved it. It was like a level 2 trauma center in Fort Worth, and then went to the complete opposite side into labor and delivery.
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness.
Somehow I ended up in beauty. I don't know how that happened.
Wow. And you know what? If you look at Heather, and you're seeing on YouTube, Heather is so beautiful, and she's beautiful inside and out, let me tell you. But I would assume, and I'm just assuming here, and is there a lot of money? When the money going to what we're doing with beauty? Because we all are, well, we're not all. I'm making a blanket statement. I'm vain, and I've made I am transparent. I've had a lot of work done, and but I pay a lot of money for that, right?
It's an investment, and it is an investment in yourself. So to answer your question, yes, there is good money to be made in aesthetics, more so than working in the hospital, I would imagine. But yes, it's the investment that you're spending on yourself does come back to us in some form or fashion.
Right. Well, last week I did a podcast by myself, and I was talking about my back pain and my issues with my spine. And this hasn't always been this way, but God gave us one body.
Yes.
One body. So you get to decide what you want to do with that one body. And I didn't always take care of my spine, and I have always taken care of my skin, always. I remember graduating TCU, and I went down to a place in Highland Park and bought this vial of vitamin C.
Yes.
Obagi vitamin C.
Vitamin C is critical.
Is it?
Yes.
Tell us. Okay, but I didn't eat a lot that week because the budget. I mean, it was over $100 a bottle.
Right.
But I was told that vitamin C is critical. So tell us about, oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. Tell us about vitamin C.
Vitamin C is important as an antioxidant. So it's going to protect you from all those bad things in the air that we're surrounded by every day. So it's definitely something that I recommend in all of my clients' regimens on a daily basis. But yes, to answer your question, it is a big investment that we're making on ourselves. I think that it doesn't necessarily make you vain. It just means that you're doing things to take care of your appearance, which we could argue everybody does. I mean, guys that go to the gym, they're going to the gym to look better, to feel better. And there's actually scientific proof that whenever you do things in the aesthetic realm to look better, you also feel better.
Right.
There's actually a recent study done that shows Botox decreases the rate of depression. So
Really?
there are other benefits to doing aesthetic treatments other than just vanity, if you will.
Right, right. And I know I throw that word around vain, but I want to take care of myself. I want to feel good. I want to look good. And that's interesting with the Botox.
And when you look good, you feel good.
You do. And taking care of yourself and eating right. I mean, it's deciding what to eat from day,
Absolutely.
and eat and drink and ingest in your body. But I'm telling you, I wonder because, and I'm sure you've had this and we will certainly hit on this, but I'm not addicted to it.
No.
I'm not addicted to it at all. I just know. Well, it hurts too bad sometimes. My goodness.
You couldn't, right?
Right.
But yeah, no, there are some people out there that do have addictions that include plastic surgery and aesthetics. And, you're not a good provider if you don't know how to figure out who those people are and get them the help that they need.
Gosh, Heather, how do you do that? Do you say no?
Yes.
You do.
I say no a lot.
Do you?
And it's a very difficult conversation. That is my come to Jesus conversation that I have with certain clients, that if their expectation is something that is not realistic, and I know that I can't deliver that, I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for what I can get from you money wise, because I know at the end of the day, if I'm a good practitioner, then the money will come. I'm in this because I know that when you walk out the door, my name is on your face as well. So I would never do something that is not going to be in the benefit of my client. And that includes somebody that has or suffers from like body dysmorphia or an addiction related to aesthetic treatments.
Right. In addictions, my husband and I we have a friend that if it's not an addiction to alcohol, then it's either to over-exercising or
Something.
He has some type of addiction. And so it's going from, alcohol to working out or gambling or something.
Positive.
So then that is a disorder that they have. And is it a disease or a disorder?
I would call it a disease, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, interesting what the CDC would say about that. Okay, so you currently, I saw you at the Broutini Bar.
Yes.
Which that's your baby.
That's my little baby
Tell
business.
us about that.
So the Broutini Bar was very unexpected, but I was working in labor and delivery and had an office that I was using. I was a massage therapist before I went to nursing school. And so I had this office just sitting around not doing anything because I'd stopped practicing as a licensed massage therapist, but wanted to do something to, get profit somewhere. And I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit. And I've also had really bad eyebrows from high school.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Thank God.
Not anymore.
They've come a long way. But I grew up in the era where we took them all off.
Were you that era?
Yeah, it's a ebb and flow. It's a wave, right? So
was that the shaving motion?
We didn't shave all of it, but we overplucked and kind of had that sperm brow.
Oh my gosh.
That's not cute,
Yeah.
Where there's a definite head and a definite tail. And
I've never heard it put that way, but okay.
We had no friends. And if we did have friends, they had the same eyebrows because nobody told us that did not look good.
Oh my goodness.
So I've always been kind of passionate about eyebrows because when I got older, I realized, oh my God, this is not cute. So then they didn't tell you that your eyebrows don't really grow back in the same.
They don't.
They don't.
Oof.
They don't. And you can try Latisse, you can try other things, but there's just not anything on the market that gets your eyebrows back to where they were before you overplucked. So I had learned about microblading from the internet, saw that it was becoming trendy, saw that there was nobody in Fort Worth that offered that service. There were some people in Dallas. Took the class. The class was awful, but I've always been kind of that left-brained artistic person. So took the class to get the like foundational concepts, and then just learned how to draw eyebrows as I went. And that's how the Brow Teeny Bar formed. I started doing it in the office that I used to do massage therapy out of, and it became successful probably within 3 months.
Okay, so what year was that when you started?
That was 2015, I want to say.
Oh my goodness! So you've done this 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Well, and so when you were telling me, you said, "Don't be nervous." Of course, I'm nervous. I'll never forget what you said, Heather. I don't know if you remember this, but you said, "So, how many tattoos is this for you?" And I went, "I don't have any tattoos." And I went, "Well, now there's the first one. It's on your face." I'm like, "Oh my gosh.
Right?
Oh my gosh." But I mean, you drew it, you explained what you were going to do, and you did such a fabulous job. I mean, I love it. And people stop me, "Okay, do you have microblading?" Because I'm at that age where it's just like my hair is growing in the wrong places.
Yes.
Like it's growing.
It's so rude. Mother Nature is so disrespectful.
She is so mean. Like, what are you doing?
I have a beard. Like, I learned the definition of car tweezers a couple weeks ago. I had no idea that this was a thing.
Is it? What is that? What do we need?
You have to have tweezers in your car, because the moment that you're at a red light and the sun is shining ever so slightly on your chin and that glistening black hair hits it.
Oh, yeah.
Car tweezers.
Car tweezers. All right, I'm on it. Everybody, you hear that? You heard it from Heather.
Everybody get you some car tweezers.
Okay. And you know what? So my girlfriend, I'm not going to say her name. She'll be so embarrassed, but she said, like, I have this one root in my chin that just keeps coming back. And it's true. And so I have done bioidentical hormones since I was 40, probably. Testosterone was that because I have nothing. I have no testosterone. I mean, I don't know how I hold muscle, but I have no libido. And so do the cream, but my goodness, I grow a beard.
I know. Now, I want to say that 40% of women suffer from some kind of sexual issue. And one of the most common ones is hormone imbalance.
Yes, exactly.
But yet Mother Nature still gives us a beard. I don't get it.
Okay,
I don't get it.
My girlfriend, one of my Mahjong sisters said, they were telling me about, because I didn't realize this, pellets. And I haven't done it yet because I think my doctor in Austin didn't do it. But my doctor here in Fort Worth, I have a feeling she's going to drive me onto that bus of pellets. But you did pellets. And you, what do you call it? You were a pellet
administer.
Injector. So you did the pellets.
Yes.
I mean, so tell me about, like, what phase was that? And
that was I guess going back a little bit with the Brow Teeny Bar, I had met a physician that needed an injector. And I convinced him to allow me to be his injector in exchange for my clientele from the Brow Teeny Bar and training, so he can get me into it. That's kind of how I got into the injections. And while I was doing that, I decided to go back to school to become a nurse practitioner.
Wow.
And I had become very passionate about women's sexual health because I just don't feel like it's an issue that gets addressed enough. I think that there's so many women that suffer in silence, and hormones is a big component of that.
Huge.
So that was part of the reason why I decided to get certified in pellet administration, if you will.
Yeah, right.
But yes, so many women suffer from low testosterone, low estrogen, everything. Again, the common ground is Mother Nature is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yet the guys kind of just fly through it and look cuter.
Oh, yeah. Is it crazy? It's crazy. I started in my 40s with progesterone orally, and then probably about 5 years ago with the testosterone cream, and then started estrogen once I was going through menopause. So it's just crazy. But anyway, okay, we're going to talk about that at another time. That's a whole different podcast.
You can't.
You can't. You have to hit on it. So anyway, okay, so the Brow Teeny Bar. So doing brows, and I'm sure you have a staff there.
Yes.
Okay, so you have a staff.
So Jessica is one of the cosmetic tattoo artists there. She is amazing. She just got back from Canada to learn from one of my mentors, Hoy Tattoo. So she's coming back with some ridiculous eyebrow stuff that you guys have to stay tuned for. She does brow lamination, which is another service that is brand new. It's where you can basically tame the eyebrow hairs to stay whichever way you brush them.
Wow.
For weeks.
Oh my gosh.
So it makes it look fuller. You can combine that with microblading. We also have Shayna. Shayna is our esthetician, and she is amazing. If you have any skin concern, if you're not sure what to use for your skincare, if you want to just bring all your skincare there to have her look at it,
that's fabulous.
That is her. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Alondra. She's there. She also does cosmetic tattooing. We're growing. We just moved into our new office. It's right behind the University Shopping Center, right by Mopac. And so we're growing right now, looking for a couple more artists, but we want to be that place that you go to for all things skincare, soft skincare, and cosmetic tattooing.
Great. Well, I love that. And I've looked at your website and I've seen your girls that you're talking about, and they are amazing. And some of my friends go to because you're busy. I mean, I sent you a direct message. I'm like, please take me. And you were kind enough because you're very, very busy because you were at Orange Twist, right? So tell us about Orange Twist.
Orange Twist is a godsend. They came to me while I was going through my divorce.
Okay.
And I was looking, every woman who has been divorced can relate to this. There are so many changes. There are so many like, oh my God, I didn't think about that moments when you're going through that. And one of those big things was, I need insurance. I need all these things. And so I had learned of Orange Twist, and they had an opportunity for an injector. And I knew Sarah Camp and another girlfriend who was a patient of Dr. Camp's, who recommended that I applied to the job. And it was such a perfect fit. So basically, I am the injector. I don't have to worry about anything else, benefits included. Nice. It's so nice. But we all work together so well. Dr. Camp, he's the surgical side. That's who I send everybody for mommy makeovers, breast augmentation, everything in between. And then you have Orange Twist, which is all your medical non-surgical treatments, the injectables, cool sculpting, all therapy, which we can talk about another day. And then Brow Teeny Bar, which is your soft skincare services. That's going to take care of your facials, your chemical peels, your cosmetic tattooing. So this is really just a triad of you don't have to go anywhere else.
And it's a beautiful facility. I saw you my follow up for my eyebrows at Orange Twist. So it's beautiful. And
it's so beautiful.
Oh my goodness. So are you the single injector there? Or?
We just hired on a new injector. She is also amazing. Her name is Sam. And, she shadowed me for hours, but basically my schedule's out 4 to 6 weeks. And so she allows our clients to come in a little bit sooner for botox and, simple filler procedures.
That is so
She's great.
So Heather, tell me about this, because Kennedy, my daughter, which Kennedy, she's 20.
Yes.
And I'm hearing a lot of, should I start Botox? Now, I started Botox when I was 40. Now, we back up because I was single. So I was a single mom, and, you had to kind of adjust because you are paying for insurance. I mean, I'm sure you've go to Cobra and how expensive insurance is.
So
it's insane.
expensive.
It's insane. So, and when you have a significant other that may work for a company or something, you just don't expect those things. So when I was younger, I just did I did skincare. I've always done the Retin-A, and I've always done, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, what you say we have to have. But skincare was really important. And sunscreen, I have that olive skin. Sunscreen's been huge for me, and I'm still paying for mistakes that I made. But
what we did in the past,
So tell me about this, the millennials and the Gen Zs. I'm the Gen Xer. So tell me about these girls and boys.
Yes.
What do you think about there's so much pressure.
This could be an entire podcast.
Of course, we have so many. Oh my gosh.
Ironically, at 34, I hit the millennial period. I think it's called elder millennial, which is also rude.
Judgers.
I'm an elder. So, there is an incredible amount of pressure for this generation to be pretty and be perfect.
Right.
And a lot of that does unfortunately have to do with our media. Social media is the number one, I would think. And, we have our people that these girls look up to, Kylie Jenner, they're beautiful, but they also only show the best of their life, the best version of themselves, the best angles, the best lighting. So I get a lot of girls that'll come in and, they'll show me pictures of what they want to look like. And to me, that's devastating. I am huge on natural beauty. That's what I specialize in. That's what I've trained around the country in, is natural beauty driven injections. Every single girl that walks into my door is already beautiful.
Of course.
The trick is, if there's something that makes you insecure and we can correct it, then yes. But if you're striving for a perfection that doesn't exist, then it's a no.
Right.
So I do think, our generation, we do see a lot more girls coming in. I do think that Botox can be used for preventative reasons. But if you're 18 years old and you don't need it, I'm not going to do it. I think that, there is a too young age to start Botox, but I also think there's a lot of women that are not in that millennial period that are waiting too long and have unrealistic expectations of what Botox can do.
Exactly. I think about, the Botox there, but then the breast augmentation. So back when I had it was, oh my goodness, probably 10 years ago. And my breast augmentation was not a positive experience. I had an encapsulation.
Oh yeah.
It was horrible. And and you misjudge because they're massive when you're,
yes.
And then I was like, no. And I think sometimes I've told my daughter this a lot. So I had the encapsulation. And so we had to start over, of course. And then the pain that's going through that. So I always say, but you say these things, I wish I'd never had it done, because I was pretty flat, but you know what?
To this day, do you feel that way?
Yeah,
still?
I do. But you know what? What would I think if I was back the way I was? You know what I mean? So you have to just go, I don't think that that's a fair assessment. Like I'm saying now, I'm like, I wish I hadn't done that. You know what I mean? Because one's bigger than the other. One is larger than the other to this day.
Always.
And I'm just going up. One faces south and one goes kind of northwest, but and you just wanted perfection, and you can't always have perfection. But
Never.
I can't imagine if I didn't have him. So I don't know. So I started large and I went small, and I think so I have girlfriends too, and this is many conversations, but she's like, well, my first husband wanted them really big. Your first husband wanted them.
First of all, why are we doing things based on what a guy wants you to do versus what you want to do?
Exactly.
And that's something that we look for too. So, I would say that it all boils down to, we all want what we don't have.
Yes.
Brunettes want to be blonde. The grass is always greener.
Yep.
But sometimes you apply a filter and it looks better. So, I would venture to say that I had the same experience as you. I had my breast augmentation done maybe 11, 12 years ago. I would say to this day that I needed it. I was a teenage mother. I breastfed. My breast did not look cute.
You have an older daughter. That's right.
I have an 18-year-old. I had it at 15 and breastfed her for 18 months. And that just puts your body through the ringer. And, keep in mind, my body was still growing itself.
Yes.
So by the end of it, I felt like I had, golf balls in a tube sock. Boobs.
Exactly. So
it just is what it is.
Right.
So I feel like that surgery was necessary for me, but I don't think I was prepared for getting large breast and understanding the struggle that other large breasted females go through, where you can't wear a t-shirt without kind of feeling like a cow at first. You don't feel skinny.
100%.
because your shirt just kind of tense over it. So, I would say you have to rely on your provider and yourself to kind of get you to a good treatment plan, because had I had known what that felt like, I would have ventured to go ahead and get a breast lift and end up with maybe B's or C's versus let's just fill her up and see how big we can go.
Right. I know. And you have to do it for yourself. And Greg, my husband, was just like, I don't care what you do. What a fabulous man. Like, I don't care if you look like, this or that. But I've had friends say, well, my first husband wanted this and my second one.
It's crazy.
Wait. And you've heard these things.
I hear them more than I'd like to admit to, where, and some of them are valid. I'll have girls that, they will not tell their husbands that they're getting treatments done lip injections and whatnot, because guys automatically go to Joan Rivers. God bless her soul. But guys will automatically think that as soon as you come in to see me, you're not going to look like you anymore.
Yeah.
And the guy, that scares them because it's kind of sweet and endearing, but they don't want to lose who they fell in love with. So that, if you think of it that way, yes. But if you think of it in the way where a guy, and I've had this where a guy was like, no, she needs 2 to 3 syringes and I want her to have huge lips and huge, that for me is also a no.
Yeah.
I appreciate the affordability of being able to say no, because sometimes no is the best word in the dictionary.
Exactly.
But the reason why you do aesthetic treatments should be your own reason, not anybody else's.
No one else's decision at all.
At all.
Or persuasion.
Yes.
Like you feel like you have to, this relationship's not attainable unless you do have, a big butt or, yeah.
At this point in my life, that, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, at some point, but, I'm single for the first time since basically high school, because I've been that serial monogamist. At this point, if you meet a man that is like that is bad energy or you don't vibe with, there are so many fish in the sea.
Oh.
I know it's exhausting to date, but if you look at it on the bright side, there are so many opportunities out there for a good person to be with you that loves you for who you are today, but accepts you for, wanting to do things that just makes you feel more refreshed and rejuvenated. Not a completely different person.
Exactly. I'm so blessed to have Greg, because he supports, he just does as much as I do. We're going to go and he's going to look into having a neck lift. And I'm so proud of him, because he's like, you know what? I want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy my body. And I'm so proud of him. I mean, that is incredible. So he supports 100%. And I've never felt like I had to live up to a standard that he had. I mean, he loves me for who I am, which is really, really cool. Yes. And those of you that do not have that need to kind of reevaluate. But
reevaluate, because you can find that.
Yes. Okay. And plus, you know what? So Heather, I might even tell you this, but before I met Greg, I'm done with marriage. I'd had 2 marriages and I'm done. I'm just like, check.
Yeah,
and,
I didn't know that.
I was just finished, because I'm like, I got this. I have got this. And now that I have Greg in my life, I'm like, what did I do before? So, you're right. There's so many opportunities. There's so many fish in the sea. And what you don't want to do is be miserable in a relationship. And you and I have talked about that too. You don't want to be miserable. I mean, you can have children with a man and you just, and all the wonderful, wonderful things. And you love a man or a woman because you have children with them. But you can move on, right?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. And a lot of girls that don't, I mean, if you look back on your relationship and you think that the decisions that you're making are more fear-based, that might be a sign for you to reevaluate too. I think a lot of girls are so scared to be alone. And that's why it's good to hear that you had that moment where you're like, I got this.
Yeah.
That's literally why. Yeah, after my marriage, I went right into another relationship, got engaged, almost got married again.
Right. Yes. You did.
And I had this, I felt like I was underwater, not breathing. I had to, and he was an amazing guy.
Of course.
But I had to have that conversation where it was, you know what? I never had a chance to really heal from my last marriage. And I never really had a chance to love myself for who I am, because I felt like in that marriage, I was trying to conform to somebody that had expectations of a wife that I just didn't carry, but I was trying and trying and trying. So I think it's so, so important to have that alone time to where you just have a moment to figure out, like, who am I?
Right.
What do I possess that would be a gift to somebody else? And then be very picky.
Oh, 100% picky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 1,000%.
1,000%.
I know.
Because we're also pressured to like get married by 30. And it's like, can you imagine like how different you are from 5 years ago?
Oh my goodness. I mean, just coming across this career that I'm in now, I didn't stumble on it because I did have a goal many years ago, but if I would have done this 5 years ago, I wouldn't be who I am now and transparent. You know what I mean? Like honest
You'd
with
be
what.
worried about what people
Oh,
think
what
about
people
you.
think of you? Are you going to like me? Are you
Yes.
going to let me in your club? It is exhausting to think of the younger Tiffy.
Yes.
It's exhausting.
And that translates into aesthetics because, I'll have women sitting on my couch where we have a conversation about what their aesthetic goals are. They're like, I want to be 10, 15 years younger. I'm like, you know what, girl, embrace your age. You've earned those years, because if you really think about it, does 37-year-old you really want to be emotionally 27-year-old you?
No.
Not in a million years.
No.
We have to try to look forward and think of a way to embrace how old we are and not think of our value of essentially going back. I will never tell a client that they're going to look 10 years younger or 15 years younger. Like, I want you to embrace how old you are. I want you to know that the aesthetic treatment that you're going to get is going to make you the most rejuvenated version of yourself, the best version of yourself, because we should be basing our value on our age.
No.
And I think our society is really bad about, the older women get, the less value we have. And I don't know if that's just me or if anybody else feels that.
100%.
But I get, even as a single woman, I have that fear still where I'm like, am I going to find a date in my 40s and my 50s? And then I'll have a client that's 80 that's like, oh, I'm on Tinder and I just went on 5 dates. I don't know how healthy these dates are, but she's like, I just don't want a man. I'm like, if she can get a man at 80, I can get a man in my mid 30s.
Yeah, you certainly can. 100%. But you know what? I go back to, golly, I honestly think about this. I'm so embarrassed of the way I acted my younger self. You know what I mean? My crazy hormones, and now I have lack of, but I just look at it and go, golly, but I embrace who I am now because, it's just a different feeling. And yes, do I wish I had, oh my goodness, if I wish I had stamina, and I wish I'm trying to get that going. But anyway,
you're taking the steps to achieve those things.
Exactly. 100%. Okay. So we talked about it, but what I want to hear from you, because this is so we did a poll and we asked my followers what they wanted to hear from us on podcast. And one of the big ones was, what is the skincare regimen, because they're hearing so many different stories. And so there's got to be a few things. And I also know that we're dealing with different demographics.
Yes.
We're dealing with different financials. And so can you tell us what you have to have? I mean, is it across the board? Is it 18 to my age, or do you have to?
I think this is a good opportunity to go through what my consultation process involves.
Can I do that?
Totally.
Okay.
Yes.
Listeners, you're getting this for free.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And our consultations are complimentary. So.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
Obviously it's different for different ages. If you're in your 20s, you don't really have too much to worry about except sunscreen.
Okay.
Your collagen is pumping.
Oh, gosh.
Sunscreen. The downside to the 20-year-olds they're very ignorant. They don't think that anything's going to happen to them.
They're invincible.
They're invincible, and sunscreen is so important. If you're in a tanning bed,
oh, girls,
just stop. Yesterday,
stop it.
Don't even come see me.
Oh
I'm offended already.
I mean, are there really tanning beds still there?
They're still there, and I don't get it. Okay. Spray tans are so beautiful nowadays. Like, you just get a spray tan.
Spot on.
In your 30s, Mother Nature starts to show her ugly head. Your collagen starts to go down. You start to lose a little bit of volume. So in your 30s, it's important to start using retinol or Retin-A. That's the only scientifically proven skincare regimen that you can apply topically that helps to renew the cells. The skin turnover rate increases with that usage. It does cause flakiness, so I do recommend seeing somebody that is educated in that field, an esthetician or a nurse and beyond, because we can teach you how to take care of that and how to do it properly. You don't want to, put too much retinol and then go into the sun the next day because that can make it worse. But
It's drying too.
it's very drying, especially in the wintertime. But wintertime is the best time to do Retin-A because you can do it at night. And then in the morning, you do your exfoliating polish and all the flakes come off. And then you can moisturize and keep your skin very hydrated. So that's that. And then really 40s and beyond, it's kind of the same thing, except you need to come and do some other things. So my consultation process that I go through with literally everybody that's on my couch, unless you're 17, then I just say, no, go home, get off of social media.
Wash your face.
Wash your face. And really that's the most important thing at night, wash your face. So if I have somebody on my couch, the very first thing I ask you is and we'll just act like we're doing a consultation right now.
Okay.
All right, Tiffany, what is your most favorite feature when you look in the mirror?
My eyes.
Your eyes. Your eyes are beautiful. The reason why I asked that question first is because I have so many girls that come in and the first thing they want to do is, I hate this about me and I hate this about me and I hate this. And for me in aesthetics, I want to change the whole thing is to start off with something positive. You're already beautiful when you walk in the door. There's nothing wrong with you.
It's so incredible.
There's nothing wrong with you at all. But what can we do to just make you look like the best version of yourself? Make you look like you've slept for 12 hours because none of us do that anymore.
No.
So I ask you that first. So your eyes are the most beautiful. Basically, we're going to do things that are going to bring that focus on the eyes. Okay. Then I ask, what do you hate about it? Like, what bothers you the most? Not so much hate. What bothers you the most?
My nose size. I'd like to have a nose job.
Okay.
It's in my future.
Okay. From there, I'd say here's some recommendations for some rhinoplasty surgeons that I really love.
Right.
Filler can be used in the nose, but not so much to reduce the size, but more so just to straighten out the profile.
Okay.
Tell me when you look in the mirror, what do you think makes you look more tired?
Underneath my eyes.
Okay. It's a very popular, area that
Lack of sleep.
we treat. Yes. Lack of sleep, stress, diet, hydration. So I always recommend, while we're working on the outside, make sure you're eating well, healthy, balanced diet, make sure you're drinking enough water, at least 8 glasses. I am the worst at that. I hate the taste of water.
You do?
I don't, they say it tastes like nothing, but it doesn't taste like nothing to me. It tastes like yuck.
Wow.
For me, I have to have it so cold and maybe some flavor added to it.
I drink a gallon a day.
That is my goal.
I pee like crazy.
See, I don't have time for that.
So don't drink water.
Americans don't have time for that.
Oh my gosh.
So, from there, basically, under eyes are a very big, popular area for us to treat. If you're over the age of 30, we always start in the mid face. Okay. And that might be pushing too far. So let me backtrack a little bit. So I'll ask you what you don't like. You said tear troughs, which is the medical term for under eyes. Then I'll go into anti-aging as a 4-prong approach. You can't just do one thing. You have to do other things. And that's why we see overfilled face syndrome so much, which is one of Fort Worth's fear. 99.9% of people that I see, their biggest request is just anything as long as I still look natural. And their biggest fear is I don't want to look unnatural. So I will say that, again, I am specialized in natural beauty-driven injections. I will not do anything that does not look natural. We do see a lot of that. Texas, unfortunately, is one of those states that allows unmedical providers to inject.
Really?
Always check that. That is very important.
I can't imagine.
There are great injectors out there that don't have a medical background. However, I do think that if you're doing your due diligence and education, I would encourage you to find somebody that has that background to support anatomy and everything.
Actually, I have this because you and one of my dear friends, best esthetician injector top 100.
Yes.
You were just voted top 100.
Which is crazy.
I mean, across the board, guys. I mean, United States. So you're dealing with this, Injector Heather. So
I would just say, on that note, don't Groupon your face. Don't bargain. I get so many phone calls for people that are asking, how much is your Botox? How much is that? Guys, I get it. It's expensive. But when you bargain shop, it's a matter of, do you want your face to be Walmart quality or do you want your face to be Neiman Marcus quality? You pick.
Don't Groupon.
I would say Neiman's.
Yeah.
So don't Groupon your aesthetic treatments. It's very important. But going back, I would say that you have to take a multifactorial approach. Number one, Botox. There's nothing on the market that's going to replace Botox. I'm going to use that word universally. There's 4 products on the market currently.
Right.
They all do the same thing, but everybody knows the word Botox. I'll say Dysport too, because otherwise my Galderma rep will murder me.
What are the other 2?
There's Botox, Dysport, Jeuveau is the newest one, and then there's Xeomin.
Okay.
So they all do the same thing. Think of them like Pepsi versus Sprite versus Dr. Pepper. They all do the same thing. Their mechanism of action works on the muscles. So we can control the amount of contraction that your muscle has with the amount of neurotoxin that we use. And I like to use the word neuromodulator because it's not toxic to the body. There's more people that are injured by ibuprofen than Botox.
Right.
But basically, I like to treat the areas of negativity. So this is the forehead is worry lines. In between the brows are anger lines, right? So we're using the Botox basically to decrease the contraction that causes the lines to form with repetitive movement over time. So with the loss of collagen, you're going to see those lines stay even when you're not making those expressions. So you're going to look worried and angry all the time. I would recommend that you start Botox preventatively, not just as treatment. So preventatively would be in your late 20s to early 30s. I started at 28 years old, and that's because my family has a barcode.
Okay.
I came in knowing that.
Fair enough.
Right.
Right.
And then I also knew that I had a lot of sun damage because I worshiped the sun when I was younger. So
Of course.
I could start to see a little bit. So I wanted to go ahead and get it started. But I would just encourage you to go to your injector and get that evaluated. So Botox, it kicks in 7 to 10 days. You do it every 3 to 4 months. You don't want to start until you are committed to doing every 3 to 4 months. And then number 2 is volume. And we lose about a teaspoon of volume every decade after 30. And you can't replace volume without volume. So sometimes that takes more than what people think. I usually do start in the mid face because that's where most of the aging happens. If you think about a full syringe of filler, it's 1/5 of a teaspoon. So take 5 of those, and that's a teaspoon, which is a packet of ketchup. In Texas, we can use this analogy. Can you use 1/5 of a ketchup packet to cover your cheeseburger?
No.
There's no way.
Right.
Sometimes we need to.
I love that.
Right? So I use 2 syringes in the mid face, and then from there we reevaluate. So for you, I'd say you'd start here in your cheeks, and then you'd come back in 2 weeks. We'd reevaluate your tear troughs because that will have some resolution from the mid face, and then we're using 1 syringe in the tear troughs. And then everybody's individualized. Right. So, it just depends on the person that walks in the room. But essentially, long story short, we're doing as many as what needs to be done to replace the volume that's lost, reduce shadows, and make you look rejuvenated, never overfilled. And I do have conversations with people all the time about how we're kind of getting close to that.
Yeah, you're getting there.
We need to dissolve the conversation.
Right.
So, yeah. And then, real quickly, number 3 is collagen. You want to do skin tightening, whether it's on the non-surgical side with devices such as All Therapy, which is what we offer at Orange Twist. It's a great, FDA approved device for tightening and lifting the tissue. And then on the surgical side, of course, it's going to be facelift, neck lift.
Right.
But if you're not doing that, then that's when women tend to fill every time they feel laxity. And that's where you see that overfilled face. And injectors not saying no.
Yeah. No, got to say no.
You got to say no. And then number 4 is skincare, which we talked about already. But that's how my consultations go.
Well, so I'm going to bring this back around to me just because that's the only way I know how to do it. So Botox I've used since I was in the 40s probably. And actually this last time, and I've told you this, I've had a gal that has done my face in Austin forever. And you and I've had this conversation because, Kelly Walla Beauty Guru has done this for me. And so she did the Botox, but this last time we had to go to the Dysport because it wasn't lasting as long.
That happens sometimes.
And do you have an immunity to it? Or?
No, I think that it's kind of like all medications. The longer you use it, the more the body builds these little guys that attack it. And so I think that tolerance becomes an issue at some point. And so what I advise clients is if you are using Botox, continue to use Botox until it doesn't work as well as it used to, and then switch to another product, and vice versa with the other products. I personally use Dysport because it kicks in a little bit quicker. The studies do show that it has a little bit more active ingredient of toxin there. But long story short, yeah, you build tolerance over time.
Will we
No,
ever
that's
get to where it
unfortunate.
won't work or anything won't work?
No, because fortunately, we have a lot of scientists out there that are incredible
They keep
thinkers,
going.
and they keep making new products.
Okay.
Xeomin and Jeuveau are the newest ones on the market. They took out the proteins, the byproduct proteins in there. So, there's always going to be something
Right.
that you can
Okay, good.
pick and choose from. I
like,
know
oh my
that
gosh.
would be devastating.
I mean, what if it doesn't work anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I have done Sculptra probably since I was probably 48, and I love it.
Sculpture's great.
Love Sculptra.
Yes.
And it's not an immediate gratification.
No, it's like I love it at first, and then when the swelling goes down,
Yeah.
it looks like nothing, and then it builds. So all it does is induce collagen.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes on that number 3 of the
that it?
anti-aging prong approach that I take. Sculptra is used to build collagen.
I love it.
And it's amazing because you can't have too much of it. It does not replace the volume, so you still need to do something else that's going to replace
Filler.
that volume. Yes,
Yeah.
but it does an amazing job at rebuilding collagen, which is
Yeah.
something that we need.
So then I've had the Juvederm and the Restylane, I believe,
Yes.
probably around, my, what do you call these?
Nasolabial
Yeah.
folds.
Yep. So I've had that. And then, yeesh. In the last year, I started doing my lips. I started doing because
Yeah,
it
they
was
hurt.
just, oh dear
I know
grief.
they're spicy.
But you know what? I love the look because
Yes.
like it's just like you're not looking like the trout pout. Is that what it's called? Oh my gosh.
There's a duck lip, and then there's the trout pout, and it's terrible.
But some
So-
people want that, right?
I think
Not your people.
I
No.
don't think that they necessarily want it. I think they get used to having it and think that that's their new normal. So that whenever it starts to go down, they're like, "Oh, I need more."
Right.
No, I do not do duck lip. I dissolve for a very inexpensive price because I want to correct those lips so bad. It gives me such gratification. But basically, the filler that was used for that was injected too deep, so it migrated up, or there's just too much filler. So I'll have girls that are like, I can't get the top of my lip to flip up anymore. And I'm like, that's because there's so much filler in there that's weighing it down that there's no way to flip it up. It's all moved up to right above that lip or right below the nose. So you have to dissolve it and start over.
How do you dissolve it?
Hylenex. It's a miracle drug. We just inject it and it dissolves that filler immediately.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is crazy. So the latest thing I did Fraxel.
It's rough.
Just about killed me. I mean, and we had lidocaine for an hour, but you know what? Tell you what, and it was resurfacing, and you can explain how this is, but I didn't have sun damage so much on my face, but my neck, I didn't bring everything because I'm spending so much on skincare. I just kept it here, wasn't bringing it down. So I'm gonna have to go after 6 weeks. This is 4 weeks this week. Hurt, but I love it. I mean,
It's really good. And necks are another area that we obviously ignore.
ignore it.
And then it's almost overnight that you wake up and you're like, what happened to my
It is
neck?
overnight.
So I would say definitely bring your skincare down to your neck area and everything that you're doing to induce collagen in the face, do it in your neck too. It's again an investment, but it's so worth it.
I know it. I had no idea.
Let's all be honest. Like our goals as women is to age like J-Lo.
Yeah,
That's
kind of it.
that's really it.
Just saying.
We don't need anything else.
Just saying. Absolutely. I know. Okay. So, I just respect so many things that you're saying, and my listeners and followers, I can't wait for them to hear this podcast. It's just so fabulous. But tell me a little bit. You're a boss lady. I mean, you are an icon in Fort Worth. I'm so proud of you because I've known you for a while, and I'm so proud of you. And you're such a great mommy. And if you follow along, just see her on there. It just warms my heart. What a great mom you are to 3 beautiful children. So tell me about what's going on in your life. It's hard, right? It's tough.
Oh my gosh. So it requires Jesus and wine. Really?
Cheers. Cheers.
to
I
that.
know, right? Jesus and wine, right?
Jesus and wine for the love. It's almost weird. It's kind of weird to hear iconic, and it's also weird to be stopped like at Target and be like, "Oh my God, Injector Heather." It's different because I'm not doing this for publicity. I'm doing it because I really do feel I'm very passionate about instilling confidence in women and, helping women that don't feel confident. It's been a goal of mine, since I was a child, because I had my first baby at 15 by myself, and I was not raised in a family that wanted to help me out. We were very poor growing up. So I ended up, moving out at 16 and trying to take care of this little baby bean of mine. And,
oh my goodness.
That was the reason why I became an outlier, is because I realized, like, okay, from this point on, everything I do is going to affect this child. And I don't want her to have a reason not to succeed. And for me too, I didn't want to live that life that I grew up in. And so, my whole motivation in life is to make a better life for my kids, but also my legacy is to make an impact on girls that are going through the same thing, whether it be teenage moms or just girls that are just not feeling good about themselves. That's my goal for social media, as an influencer, as an injector, as a mom, as a Christian, is to make as wide of an impact as I can positively. So, that's where I credit the boss babe thing. I think that, it's something that you're born with. You have to have that entrepreneurial spirit, but I think it's also, girls that have a story that of them struggling. You don't have to use that as your story of victimization. You don't have to use that as your sad story. Exactly. You can use that and just project yourself out there and be like, look, I'm going to change the world now. And this is where I'm going to start. And for me, I'm going to start in Fort Worth.
Right.
But eventually it's, to my whole goal in life is to create like a teen mom foundation where I can help other teen moms learn how they can make the best of their lives. And for women, it's, how I can make you feel the most confident version of yourself to go do things. Because when we feel confident, let's be honest, we do more.
Absolutely.
Days. If we have days where we don't feel confident, if we feel fat,
exactly,
we feel bloated, we're probably not going to do much.
Not at our best. Exactly.
We're not at our best. So,
when I decided, because I've been transparent in my relationships, and when I decided, and I don't know when it is, I really need to do some soul searching of when I decided to not be a victim any longer.
Yes.
Is when I finally became my true me. I'm like, I'm not going to be a victim. I mean, there's people that's had it a lot worse than I have. And
it gives me chill bumps to just hear that.
Stop being a victim.
No. Me as me is as much as you as you. And you as you is beautiful and perfect. And we all have scars and we all struggle. And we have to learn that in the day-to-day life. Like, I've got to be kind to even this person that I really don't want to be kind to, because they may have just lost somebody. They may have just, went through something devastatingly tragic. So, that's kind of the vision that I want to uphold to everybody is, we're all having our own internal struggle. Let's not use our struggle to be victims of life and be entitled to things that we haven't earned. I mean, there's no excuses. And this is a good time to bring up, Kobe.
Oh gosh.
That whole situation, blesses, prayers for his family and prayers for everybody that surrounded that family. But his biggest thing was I don't make friends with people that make excuses, because, if you want something, you do it. And if you have a struggle, that's even more power to do it, because you have that motivation now.
Right. Yeah. And I think I saw today, it wasn't Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. It was rest in power.
Yes. I love
that. I love it. I saw it today, and just God bless his entire family.
He made such an impact. And what we have to realize is there's so many people, like, I've never met Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
A lot of us have never met Kobe Bryant, but look at how many people are impacted by the loss of his life. The things that you say are so important. And I think I saw this on a quote, and I can't remember it word for word, but, it makes you really realize, like, every single thing that you do and every single thing that you say will follow you. So make it as impactful as possible.
Make a difference.
Make a difference. Why not?
And Heather, You are making a difference in so many women and men's lives. I am
Yes.
quite certain. And you're my friend, and I love you, and I appreciate you so much for being on our show.
love
Will
you
you come
too.
back?
I would love to come back.
Oh
I
my
would love
goodness,
to come back.
we've almost talked an hour, and we could just keep
It felt like
talking.
10 minutes.
I know, but it's so good to see you. And
me
please
too.
come back to see us. And thank you for all you do for the women and men in Fort Worth.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
And supporting everyone. And everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next time on My So-Called Fabulous. And please follow me at Tiffany C. Blackman on Instagram, and Heather at injector_Heather. And please listen in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.